Hi everybody, good evening, and thank you for joining us on our in-depth portion of Studio 12 News. Dan Carter with you this evening. We continue on our conversation about the economic prosperity of 2011. Will it be one of those years we look back at and say, boy, it was a really good year, or was it one of those years that got us back on track again? 2010 was an interesting year as you look at the economic news in Durham region, but everybody that I've been speaking about believes that 2011 is going to bring a great deal of prosperity, a great deal of opportunity, a great deal of investment in their communities. We started this journey off with Gord Mackey. He's the CEO of the Whitby Chamber of Commerce. Then we moved on to last night we talked with Bob Malcolmson from the Greater Oshawa Chamber of Commerce and about his community. Tonight we introduce you to Sheila Hall. She is the CEO of the Clarington Board of Trade, and we talk about, is prosperity and good times just around the corner for Clarington? And what are some of the things that she looks back on 2010 and look forward to 2011? And does it truly look like it's going to be a better time for small business and business in general? Here is my conversation with Sheila Hall.
I think that in Clarington we were lucky. I don't think the recession hit us the same way. I think that our businesses are really diverse and really strong at partnerships, so they've done a great job at working together. I think some of the challenges in Clarington is we have some great projects on the doorstep, and the delay in decisions for those are halting some of our members and our business community in moving forward with some plans that would tie to those.
How frustrating is that? Because these are major projects. Let's talk about it. Darlington is probably the best known large project. I've heard some estimations, I know that you'll correct me if I'm wrong, but 3 years just to dig the hole, I mean, for the new build. How frustrating and how emotional was it in 2010 as announcement, not an announcement? The EA is going to keep on going, the EA is not going to go. The money's there, no, the money's not there.
Yeah. Well, it depends which part of the economy you're looking at, right? If you're looking at the developers, so we have a lot of projects at our doorstep. We need a lot of office space, we need some buildings, we need some land ready.
Right.
To do those kind of things, we need to know that those projects are online. We're very fortunate that the refurbishment project and the confidence the province has in Ontario Power Generation to take that project forward is giving some of those businesses that are either looking at locating here or already located here, giving them an opportunity to get their feet planted and ready to go, so that when new build is established, we'll have some things on the ground and ready to go. Ontario Power Generation is going to build their 250,000 square foot training center, and that is boosting people's confidence in the projects moving forward as well. So.
Does that trickle down to small family businesses? Do you find that they are benefiting from those announcements?
Absolutely. So if we look at the refurbishment project alone, we'll bring 300 workers to our community for the span of the project. So they all have spouses and children. They need a place to live. They need hairdressers. They need accountants. They need lawyers. They need grocery stores to shop in. They need all the basic things that we all need, right?
And those 300 jobs too there's been some estimations that you could be looking at people being paid anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000 or plus. They're really high-skilled, high-wage jobs, aren't they?
Yes, absolutely.
How does that change then? That's a lot different than opening up a lot of hourly stores, correct?
Yeah. Well, it's a great opportunity for Clarington. We're in the best spot in all of Ontario, if not Canada right now. We've got opportunity knocking at our door. Our demographics will change a little bit. It helps boost our economy and pay for some of the things that we like as a community. What we need to do as a community is make sure we're ready for it, and that we've got everything that those people are looking for, so that we can encourage them to move here, to live here, to spend here, to put their children in schools here, to create all those opportunities that are really important for us collectively.
There's also a major project that everybody's been talking about is the EFW, or the energy from waste. The region has signed off. There was, and you might be able to correct me if I'm wrong, is there a host agreement that has been signed to host the EFW facility here in Clarington?
I believe there is. I
Right.
don't know the details of that personally, but I understand that our new council has instructed the legal counsel for the town
Yeah.
to have a look at that. And
How does that impact the confidence of the community, or is this just people doing their due diligence?
well, I can only speak on behalf of what our membership
Right.
tells us, and at this point, they're not. We haven't heard a lot of concerns. There's
Right.
two sides to every story, and this is a controversial story in Clarington. When we polled our members at the beginning of this process, we didn't see a lot of resistance or compassionate acceptance to it.
Yeah.
It's a pretty neutral topic in the business community, I think.
How are you finding your downtown cores doing in 2010? Let's just look at Bowmanville first, if
Yeah.
you don't mind. Is there a revitalization? Are the downtown cores really coming back? Are family businesses able to relocate and benefit from opening up maybe their hopes and their dreams that they always thought about?
Gosh, I hope so. They're the heart of our community, aren't they? Yeah, I think so. I think I've spoke to a few retailers as I was doing my Christmas shopping locally before the holidays, and they're having really good years. They were surprised at the years they were having, so I hope that they're doing fine.
Does that contribute to the work that you've done here at the Board of Trade, or is that a sense that you have very unique downtowns that you represent, and it's not just about a buying experience, but it's about an experience of just visiting your unique downtowns?
Well, I think that creating unique downtowns and helping them survive is a team sport.
Yeah.
You know, we can all do our little part, but if people aren't shopping there, which is the most critical part,
Right.
then we have a problem. The retailers have to be offering what people are looking for, and we have to have enough insight to see the importance of shopping in those stores.
When you look back at 2010, if you had to give it a grade from 1 to 10 for your members, what would you give it in regards to opportunity and prosperity?
I think that's a challenging question, because a lot of our opportunities, whether it was the 407 or the new build project or the extension of the GO train, they were stalled a little bit. So I think that the excitement at the prospect of those, I would give probably an 8 or a 9.
Right.
I think that some of the deflation from those being postponed probably brought it down to a 6. But
Right.
I think that 2011 is going to be amazing. I think that we're going to see some of those projects move forward. I think that the refurbishment project put a lot of air into our sales in Clarington, and we're going to see a lot of opportunity. And I hope that all the business communities, whether they're running a restaurant or they're cutting people's hair or they're offering insurance or legal services, I hope that everybody buckles up and gets ready for the influx that we're going to see here.
When we come back, we pick up our conversation with Sheila Hall from the Clarington Board of Trade. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the show. I have to look at Clarington and think to myself, it's almost like winning the lottery. OPG and the massive amount of dollars that will be spent on the refurbishment, and then of course the new nukes that'll be there. Some estimations it'll take them 3 years just to dig the hole for the new nukes. And also about this brand new office facility that they'll be starting in 2011. You got to think more tax dollars, more jobs, and a lot more prosperous times for the people of Clarington. Here's what Sheila Hall had to say about OPG's investment in her community.
They're talking that refurbishment will be 3,000 jobs.
3,000
jobs, and then the Darlington new build
Right.
will be an additional 3,000 jobs for the construction phase and 2,500 permanent jobs.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
incredible. The training center that they looked at, they bought a huge parcel of land. I think it was 75 acres
In the energy park.
adjacent to their property,
Yeah.
which will be just up the street from the EFW facility. That is going to change the whole waterfront, is it not?
It's going to change that area, that's for sure. It's going to. I think it's going to be the launching pad. Development follows cranes. I always say so. once we start seeing that, and I believe they're almost finished their EA process for that building, and we'll be putting a shovel in the ground in the spring, I think is what is anticipated. So.
The reason why I bring this up is there's a lot of indications that people are saying that you've got an opportunity to have a learning center, a training center, a research and development when it comes to energy in Clarington. For years, Clarington has wanted to be the center of Ontario when it comes to energy production. And I would imagine that these investments in those waterfront properties would only mean that that may actually happen in 2011 and moving forward.
Well, the one thing that we're really excited about, and today was a prime example being our first day back in the new year, but in the last year and a half, we have spent a lot of time, we as the Board of Trade and support with the municipality and the staff and council at Clarington, have spent a lot of time connecting with the nuclear industry and the supply chain for the nuclear industry, because they're very interested, obviously. Now, the refurbishment project is starting to sign off on some of their RFPs now, and our first call this morning was from a company that has signed a deal for the refurbishment project and is interested in here. Now, OPG's building, their 250,000 square foot building, is a huge enticement for these companies. They're so excited that Ontario Power Generation is investing in this project that helps their industry do things properly, on time, on budget.
What does it do? What does an announcement like this do to the whole community? Not just the people that are going to be impacted in Bowmanville, but I mean, this project and the dollars that are going to be created through wages and tax revenues, and also then commerce in itself, is going to have a blanket effect on all of Durham Region, will it not?
Absolutely, absolutely. This project is too big for Clarington to be the only community capitalizing on it. And so we have a very strong partner in economic development at the region, and we make sure that what we can't satisfy, we make sure our neighbors are the first people next on the list.
Is that a key to the success of this project, making sure that all parties, all communities have an opportunity to benefit from this huge investment?
Absolutely, absolutely. Durham Region's an incredible place. So whether the university went in Oshawa or came to Clarington, it's an asset to all of us. And so if we don't protect our assets and share our assets together, you know, we create challenges that don't need to be there.
You've got a new council now that is in place, a lot of new members, a new mayor. Do you get the sense from City Hall that they are willing to embrace this new era of economic prosperity?
I think so, yes. Yeah.
Do they also understand the needs of maybe dollars being spent on our local hospital, on the roads, of some of the things that we may not see as taxpayers but are really important to the infrastructure of the community? Do they understand that that's going to have to be a must do, not a maybe do or like to do?
Well, let's hope so. Yeah. I mean, I think we have a good handle on that. At the Board of Trade, for sure, we understand the importance of community development. We have been doing physician recruitment for over 5 years now, because we believe that the importance of having those things in place, having doctors, having good health care, having good parks, good recreation, good hockey arenas, is all part of the attraction of business to the community. People want to bring their employees somewhere where they're going to have a great quality of life, and I don't think you can beat what you've got in Clarington. So
I want to just move. There was some major changes, especially in Bowmanville. You welcomed a Walmart, which was not part of the landscape. Was that a good thing for the community?
I think so. I think so. I mean, it's one of those things that big changes bring fear but excitement at the same time. And I think that it's been a good addition to our community.
It also has spawned off more development in that area, which is, I think there's a Swiss Chalet that's going in, I think there's a liquor store that'll be going in, other things like that are going in on that property. That means more tax revenue, that means more jobs, that means more dollars coming into the economy.
Means more opportunity, right?
Yeah. Well, that does it for tonight. Tomorrow night, we're going to talk with Todd Skinner, a very well-known business coach. He is running and is the CEO of Keller Williams here in Oshawa, Ontario. And we're going to talk to Todd about